There is a version of you that 2026 cannot afford to carry. The distracted version, the emotionally fragile version, the version that wakes up already behind. Rebuilding yourself will not start with a dramatic breakthrough. It will start in silence. In the first 60 minutes after your eyes open, because mornings are not just time. They are psychological leverage. Your brain, fresh from sleep, is highly suggestible. Your emotional baseline is still forming. Your identity is being reinforced quietly. Win the morning, and you tilt the day in your favor. Lose the morning, and you spend the day reacting. If you want mental strength in 2026, you don't need motivation. You need structure. Habit 1. Wake up without negotiation. The alarm rings. Immediately, a voice speaks. 5 more minutes. You slept late. You deserve rest. That voice is not your enemy. It is your old identity. Every morning is a negotiation between who you were and who you're becoming. When you hit snooze, you reinforce weakness. When you stand up immediately, you reinforce authority. Mental strength is built in micro decisions. Getting up without debate teaches your brain something powerful. Discomfort is not optional. Discipline is not negotiable. You are training your nervous system to act before emotion settles in. The strongest people are not those who feel motivated. They are those who act regardless of feeling. When you wake up instantly, you send a signal to yourself. I move when I decide. Over time, this compounds. You begin trusting yourself more. Self-trust is the foundation of mental strength. Because if you can't trust yourself to get out of bed, how will you trust yourself under pressure? 2026 requires someone who moves without hesitation. Train that reflex every morning. Habit 2. No phone for the first 30 minutes. The fastest way to weaken your mind is to surrender it. The moment you grab your phone, you allow the world to dictate your state. Messages, news, other people's achievements, other people's drama. Before you have built your own mental footing, your brain in the morning is like wet cement. Whatever touches it first leaves a mark. If it's chaos, you become reactive. If it's comparison, you become insecure. If it's urgency, you become anxious. Mental strength begins with protecting attention. For 30 minutes, no external input, no scrolling, no notifications, no noise. Sit in your own presence. At first, it will feel uncomfortable because distraction has been your shield. But when you remove it, you begin strengthening emotional tolerance. You learn to sit with your thoughts. And when you can sit with your thoughts calmly, you stop being controlled by them. Attention is currency. Guard it early. Habit 3. Voluntary discomfort. Comfort creates fragility. Every time you avoid discomfort, your stress tolerance decreases. Cold water, a hard workout, a difficult book instead of entertainment. Voluntary discomfort rewires your response to stress. When you step into something challenging by choice, you train your brain to reinterpret stress as growth. This changes everything. Instead of panicking when life gets hard, you recognize the feeling. You've felt it before. You've survived it before. Mental strength is not about avoiding pressure. It's about becoming familiar with it. When you deliberately do hard things before 8 a.m., you reduce fear for the rest of the day. You stop seeing difficulty as a threat. You start seeing it as training. And trained minds don't collapse easily. Habit 4. Physical activation. Before mental demands, your body and mind are not separate. A stagnant body produces stagnant thinking. Before you answer emails, before you solve problems, move, push-ups, stretching, a short run, breathing exercises. Movement changes chemistry. It increases oxygen flow. sharpens focus, boosts discipline. But more importantly, it builds momentum. Momentum is psychological fuel. When you complete a small physical challenge early, you create internal proof. Proof that you are active. Proof that you are capable. Proof that you execute. And execution builds confidence faster than affirmations ever will. If your mornings are slow and passive, your days will feel heavy. If your mornings are active and deliberate, your days feel intentional. Strength is kinetic. Move first. Habit 5. Write to confront yourself. Your thoughts feel overwhelming when they stay abstract. In your head, everything feels bigger. Write. 5 to 10 minutes. No performance, no audience. Just honesty. What are you avoiding? What are you afraid of? What must you confront in 2026? When you write, you externalize fear. And when fear is externalized, it becomes manageable. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote daily not to impress others, but to discipline his own mind. He governed an empire, but he knew the real battle was internal. Writing builds clarity. Clarity reduces anxiety. Reduced anxiety increases decisiveness. Mental strength grows when you stop running from your own thoughts. When you face them on paper, you reduce their power over you. 2026 will demand emotional maturity, and maturity begins with self-confrontation, not distraction, not denial. Clarity. If you execute these 5 habits daily, something subtle begins to shift. You hesitate less, you react less, you doubt yourself less. Because before the world tests you, you've already tested yourself. But rebuilding yourself is not complete yet. The first 5 habits create foundation. The next 5 will harden you. And in 2026, you won't just need discipline. You will need resilience under pressure. Habit 6. Visualize the hard version of the day. Most people prepare for success. Very few prepare for resistance. They imagine things going smoothly. They picture wins. They expect cooperation. Then the first obstacle appears, and their emotional system collapses. Mental strength is not built by hoping for ease. It is built by anticipating friction. Before your day begins, close your eyes for a few minutes. Imagine the difficult conversation. Imagine the delayed result. Imagine the criticism. Imagine the unexpected problem. Now imagine yourself calm, measured, controlled, strategic. When you mentally rehearse adversity, your nervous system becomes familiar with pressure, and familiarity reduces panic. Panic comes from shock. Shock comes from unpreparedness. If you expect resistance, you don't take it personally. You handle it. This is psychological armor. You are not becoming negative. You are becoming prepared, and prepared minds don't break easily. Habit 7. Define 1. Non-negotiable, win overwhelm destroys momentum. When you wake up thinking about 10 goals, your brain resists starting any of them. Mental strength grows from completion. Every morning, define 1 win. 1 task that must be completed before the day ends. No excuses. No delays. It could be finishing a chapter, making that uncomfortable call, training for 45 minutes, sending that proposal. 1 win. When you complete it, something powerful happens. You build self-trust. Self-trust is deeper than confidence. Confidence says, I think I can. Self-trust says, I know I will. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens your identity. Every promise you break weakens it quietly. In 2026, you must become someone who finishes, not someone who plans, not someone who talks, someone who completes. Completion builds power. Habit 8. Control your inner dialogue. Immediately, your inner voice starts early. I'm tired. I'm behind. I'm not ready. I don't feel like it. If you allow those thoughts to dominate, they shape your emotional baseline. Mental strength is not the absence of negative thoughts. It is the discipline to answer them. When your mind says, "This is too much," you respond, "One step at a time." When your mind says, "I'm not capable," you respond, "I'm improving daily." Repetition shapes belief. Belief shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. If you repeat weakness internally, you embody it. If you repeat resilience, you condition it. Your brain listens to you more than it listens to anyone else. Train it carefully. Habit 9. Delay gratification with intention. The modern world weakens minds through instant reward, scrolling, sugar, entertainment, stimulation. The earlier you indulge, the weaker your tolerance for effort becomes. Mental strength requires dopamine control. Do not reward yourself before you've earned something. Effort first, pleasure second. When you delay gratification, you strengthen impulse control. Impulse control strengthens decision-making, and decision-making determines life direction. If you cannot delay small pleasures in the morning, you will struggle to delay larger temptations in life. Discipline in small areas builds resilience in major ones. 2026 will test your patience. Train it daily. Habit 10. Reinforce the identity you are building. Rebuilding yourself is not about dramatic change. It is about daily reinforcement. Every morning, ask yourself, who am I becoming through these habits? Are you becoming someone calm under stress? Someone disciplined? Someone emotionally stable? Someone who moves without hesitation? When your focus shifts from outcome to identity, consistency becomes natural. You no longer wake up asking, "Do I feel motivated?" You wake up knowing, "This is who I am." In Atomic Habits, James Clear explains that lasting transformation happens when identity changes first. Goals end. Identity remains. When you act daily in alignment with your future identity, the transformation becomes inevitable. You are not trying to feel stronger. You are becoming someone who cannot be easily shaken. Over time, the results show quietly. You react less. You hesitate less. You complain less. Pressure feels familiar instead of frightening, because you've trained for it, morning after morning. Rebuilding yourself in 2026 will not happen through inspiration. It will happen through repetition, through small acts of discipline, through controlled thoughts, through delayed pleasure, through completed tasks, through calm responses. The world respects emotional stability. It rewards consistency, and it favors those who can endure pressure without collapsing. Build that person before sunrise, and by the time the world wakes up, you are already ahead.